Okay, well, if you've been out muzzle loading, you've probably seen this a few times. Pull it out of here. That's a standard ball board, and this is a 6-shotter, okay? And they probably mystified you a little bit. I'm going to break it down for you today and kind of show you what they're used for and what a great important tool it is and how to load one up. So stick with me. This ought to get pretty interesting. Okay, so you want to keep your ball board on a good flat surface and get yourself a good patch. Make sure it's completely lubed up. Now, you know, for years I used boar butter. It's great. You can't beat it for the price. It's all natural. It does increase accuracy. It reduces fouling. It's boar butter. You can't beat it. And if you look over here, made in the USA. So definitely a product I buy. I've got some of my own boar butter that I made up with beeswax and all that, and some elk tallow, and that works just as well. Doesn't matter, whatever you choose. I mean, heck, you can use just plain lard if you want, you know, in a pinch. But I'm going to show you how to load up the ball board. Okay, you're going to center the patch on the board just like that, and in this case we're going to grab a 54 caliber ball. Show you how easy this is. Well, we don't want that one. We want a nice round one. Okay, so we're going to center it right over the hole there. Okay, make sure our patch is nice and even. Okay, take our ball starter, jam it right in there, and it'll look something like that when you're done. Now, you want it to stick out the bottom here a little bit. You want that little, you know, protrusion there at the bottom, because that's going to go right over the barrel of your gun and help you load it up in a jiffy. So we're going to get this one loaded up, and so it's ready for the next shoot. We get our patch, bang, 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 get a ball. We don't want that one. Get a nice round ball out of here. Make sure it's completely centered over the hole there. Want the patch to go around the ball as much as possible and even as possible. We get that on there. Get our ball starter and bang it in there. And again, we want it to stick out the bottom just a little bit, so we make sure we give it a good tap in there. Well, it sticks out just a little bit. I'm going to be loading 3 today, just to give myself 3 extra shots without aggravation, without having to go through the whole rigmarole of finding a patch and a ball, and just kind of speeds things up a little bit. And that's the purpose behind it. This is kind of a one of the first speed loaders, if you will. And you can see I've got 3 of them loaded up there, and that's how I would carry it in the field, just like that. I'm going to show you how this little protrusion goes over the barrel. So when you get ready to load up, always remember to put your powder down first. If you don't put powder down first, you're going to dry ball, and pulling a ball is not fun. So powder first. Remember, powder, patch, ball. And that's what this little gizmo does, is it takes away those last 2 things, kind of combines them together. You've got your powder down, and what you do is you get your speed loader, and see how it stops right there? It just centers. Let's get that where you can see. It just goes over the top right there, bang, and you'd bang it home. So it takes 2 steps out of the whole process. It makes it very convenient. But that's what one is, and that's how it works. So I hope that answers your question.
Stay safe, stay warm, stay free.
Although many people today collect antique firearms, there are comparatively few that have any knowledge of the way they were fired. This is an Elizabethan matchlock, and I'm going to show you the actual way in which it was fired. Here is a slow-burning fuse which I hold with my hand and have placed in the serpentine. To fire it, the cover of the pan was removed, and in that way the ignition took place and the charge, which had been placed previously in the barrel with a ramrod, fired. And now I'd like to show you that action again in slow motion. And now I'm going to take this gun onto the range and show you how it fires. I'm ready to fire. This is the famous English brown Bess musket. It's got a 46-inch barrel and was made in 1757. To load it, it's first put on a half cock, and with a priming flask the pan is loaded, closed and held in this position, which was the safety position. To make it ready to fire, the cock is brought back to the full position and fired in this manner again in slow motion. I'm now going to load one of a pair of Flintlock dueling pistols. First operation is to prime the pan. This is done in this manner and the pan cover closed. Then a charge is put down the barrel and a bullet is selected and a patch placed over the muzzle of the gun. The bullet placed carefully in the center, pressed down by hand and then forced home with the ramrod. This is a very good example of an English 18th century pistol, made by Mortimer of London somewhere about 1790. It's got a brown twist barrel. It's signed on the barrel with the name of the maker in gold. It has a hair trigger and a particularly fine piece of walnut in the stock. It's normally used at about 15 paces, which was dueling distance, at a target rather like this, which was chosen because it's about the size of a man. I'm going to now measure off the distance of 15 paces from this target. When you're fighting a duel, it's got to be a very well regulated affair. No one can fire until the word of command. If such a thing happens, they are guilty of murder. You await the word of command with the pistol at your side, pointed to the ground, facing the target sideways to give the smallest possible mark to your combatant.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, fire.
This is a double-barreled percussion cap muzzle-loading gun made in London by Charles Lancaster in 1853. The percussion caps you will see in place there. It's loaded with a charge of powder, wadding and shot with a ramrod from the muzzle. I'm going to shoot at a flying target. Will you please release a balloon? Well, now we've come to the end of firing the small arms.